guys, it's your favourite host, Big J.
And I'm RJ. And today we have...
Manisha.
So this is episode 2. You know what, I ain't gonna lie. Again, I watched your last episode. It was such a fantastic one, and I watched it today again, just to get me revisit it. So you spoke about your early life, what you done before you got into this. So I think we'll move on from that, and we'll go into the business aspect of it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing at me, dickhead?
Let's go. I mean, obviously, this has been a lot. We've been waiting to do this one for a while, I think.
Yeah, and I'm glad, you know what, we're doing it in a different setting today. The first time we're doing it by ourselves without a rest podcast studio, but Big Dan will be eaching every time.
Always.
So yeah, let's get back into it then.
Let's get back into it, so I'll let you start.
So, 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was this? Did you move into 2018 in here?
No, so we got this studio space in 2012.
Okay.
And
So you've been here a long time.
yeah, but we only rented a proportion of the premises, and then it was actually 2019 we made the decision to then take the whole ground floor space, and with our vision we kind of looked at, okay, we want to start the academy.
You know, 2012, obviously, like, was it just one little space? It wasn't just what you see now, right?
No.
Yeah, it was like tiny.
It was literally, it used to be a like a stock room kind of. There was no walls. There was walls, but there was no flooring, no ceiling, nothing. So it was literally just a building, like a shell. Yeah. And we kind of obviously took over, and slowly we started to build the studio, and we did bit by bit because we wanted it to be perfect, and we wanted to kind of bring in the vision. And at that time, it was like what was good for us at that time to do, we went and did.
So, because we went back all the way to 2012, you were still working at the time. So this was like your...
So I was still working with Mac at the time, and that's when I made the decision to start building my own business, as well as alongside working with Mac. Because I wasn't... At that point, in my mind, I was still quite new to the industry. I still had a lot to learn. Yeah. And I didn't want to just kind of throw it all and just like not know where I was going in the direction and stuff. Because again, with myself, I started from zero. So I started with 0 clients, 0 knowledge. Everything was like ground bottom. And even when I was with Mac, it was Mac's very much a great brand for learning the products, selling the products, but it wasn't the other side that I wanted to go into, which was the artistic side, where I would be then using my skill as a service for brides or party hair and makeup. And it's a completely different area, and it's like you have to be confident if you're going to go into it, because once you start charging somebody for a service, you need to be sure that you're delivering that service.
Especially when you're putting your name on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Manisha, do you know what I mean? So when you're putting your name on it, it's got to be...
Absolutely.
And how is it going from working for someone like Mac? Obviously, it is a big company, but then this is obviously your own business, like you said. So how did you find that? And what was the learning curve? Like, how did you learn the other side of it?
So with Mac, I learned from there. I took away obviously product knowledge. I took away, just being able to be versatile with different types of skin, different ages, just working with everything and anything. And I took that on board quite a lot, because I thought, you know what, if I want to exceed in my business, I need to put my time into Mac to be able to do that. So when the position of product specialist came up, I jumped at that one, because I thought being a product specialist for Mac basically meant that any products that came out, you had to learn the ingredients, you had to learn the pros and cons of the product, and then you had to then understand who that product was for and who could use it and who couldn't use it. And even though from a selfish point of view, I grabbed onto that just because I knew that's going to help me in this business. And with Mac, what they usually do is you're in that position for 6 months, because they like to rotate it around the whole team. And there was a lot that went into that role, because you would then have to do a lot in your own time, not on Mac time, but you literally your own time. So again, putting together training for the staff, so for your team, to then educate them on the new products that are coming out, explain so they knew they were on the same sheet when it came to selling the product, who it was for, the background of the products. They do a lot of not sponsorship, but they do a lot of collaborations. So they will do collaborations, like if there's a massive Disney film coming out, they'll collaborate with Disney.
Yeah.
If there's, like we did a Star Wars, before Rihanna had her Fenty out, they did a collaboration with Rihanna. So they're always doing it. So you have to understand the background behind it all as well. Because you also, with customers, they are diehard, like for example, Rihanna fans. They're going to know about the products even before we release. So I ended up having that role for 6 years.
Instead of 6 months.
Instead of 6 months, they went to 6 years. And I thought, you know what, I'm happy doing this, because it's like you're taking in everything you need. I mean, if you look down there, there's just manuals and manuals of Mac.
That's crazy.
Because that's what they used to give us. They're like, right, this is all the information you need to know, go away.
And learn it inside.
Hairdressers and makeup, are the only two industries that you're always going to need, bro. You're always going to need a human behind it. I don't care what you say.
Okay, so I've got a couple of questions for you, starting from there. You know how you said products are for certain people? Do you mean that certain skin colours can only use that product?
No, definitely not skin colours. Skin types.
Skin types, okay. What does that mean? I don't even know.
So skin type is basically like, you can have skin that's textured, you can have skin that's dry, skin that's oily, but normal. So Mac will always bring out the full range. You just got to know which one you need to pick up for that specific customer. And then also you need to know the ingredients, because if you've got allergies,
reactions and stuff can happen.
You need to tell your customers that.
No, it's crazy. But have you had any guys request makeup? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that's a usual thing, you know, when, like, especially when you get married.
No, I remember guy liner was a thing at one point. No, it was a brand.
I'd say more so it's more concealer, just around the eye area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for the weddings, they want to obviously look a little bit less tired, so just literally popping on.
Have you seen that more regular now?
We have, I have. I do get asked, but if I'm doing the bride, I can't then be there for the groom, because it's a different location. So I do turn that down. But again, going back to working with Mac, we had to learn all this. We had to know how to put makeup on men without it looking like makeup.
Yeah.
And then on another side of Mac as well, you had ways of going up the ladder as well. So you could either go down the managerial or you could go down artistic. So I chose to go down artistic, and with that, they push and push. They take you onto different levels of makeup. This is levels that you won't see in retail. So this is things where when you have like fashion week, when they do fashion week and like really, really big events that Mac tend to sponsor, you're then pulled out of retail and put on that. But again, you have to learn the certs to be able to do that. So there was quite a few. I managed to get myself up to advanced level, and literally it's a completely different type of makeup when you're doing those kind of skills.
Do you know, like you said, advanced level, do you feel more pressured when you're at that level, or is it just the work is harder? It's
pressured to get there.
Yeah.
It's absolutely pressured. Like, I remember every time my manager used to say to me, Manisha, we're sending you to Birmingham because you've got to do the next cert. I used to literally stress myself out from doing it, because they'd give you a book and you had to memorise this book. You needed to know what you needed to put on the face, because all you're doing is you're working off a picture and and you've got 5 minutes to execute that picture. And you don't know who's sitting in front of you, because everything's a time element. If you're in Fashion Week, you're backstage, you've got models coming in and out. You need to get that model done quick and out.
Fast-paced,
and everyone looks and they need to look perfect. So I took with Mac, like, as much as that is craziness, I've taken that away. So now when I then run the academy, I'm teaching girls at a specific level.
To that pace, basically, exactly. To basically stress them out. So out of the frying pan into the fire. That's
absolutely. Because end of the day, when you look at bridal, it's fast paced. You know, you've got to get the job done, and you're going to be under so much pressure. Where I had, this was probably like 10 years ago, And I had a bride that was so nervous on her wedding day that she kept vomiting. And I'm doing waterproof everything on her eyes, and obviously when you do, your eyes are streaming. In the end, it took me 45 minutes to sort her eyes out, because I'd sort it out, then she'd run off, come again. So it's constant. But in your head, you've got to stay calm. You've lost 45 minutes, but there's nothing you can do. It's out of your control. And that's where you then had to learn to, like I said, be patient, calm, but be there for that bride. But you have to make up the 45 minutes. You've lost 45 minutes.
How do you make it up though?
Trust me, you make it up.
Do you know what I realised as well? Yeah, do you know like
see, you can probably answer this question. I can't.
No. I was gonna say, you know, as your job, makeup artist, like a bridal makeup artist. Yeah, that's not the title of the job is makeup artist, where you need to be someone who can
Counselor.
listen to, it's
a lot, it's a lot.
Organizer, you got to organise
artist.
everything. You got to get there, and then that's the final product. The final thing is you got to get the makeup done at the end of the day as well.
It's not. Just
and obviously, also we just spoke before when you were outside. Your days start really early, like you said. It comes to that season where you're up.
Yeah.
You start at 4:30, so you must be up way earlier than that.
Yeah. You got to be at the bride's house for 4 a.m.
Oh my.
Yeah, 4 or 5, depending on what the bride's having.
It's not easy to work at that time, bro. It's not easy to get to work as well.
Don't tell me, because I can't wait. I'm not a morning person, you know that, innit?
I start at 12 o'clock. I'm living the good life. I'll go Costco on Monday and fill up in the morning, do you know?
No, but yeah, it must be. Obviously, you said that it takes, like, your body gets used to it, right?
Body gets used to it. I mean, when I first started, if I knew I had to get up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I'd be in bed by like 6, 7. You know, you kind of think, oh, I need to sleep, because otherwise you worry that you sleep for an alarm. Can't speak through an alarm, or you could like miss. You're not going to be up to standard when you get up. But now, you know, like this morning, I had a bride this morning. I mean, it wasn't an early start. I had to be with her for 6:30 in the morning. But I think I went to bed about 11:30.
Oh,
and your body just gets used to it, and you get up normal. You feel you're ready for it, and I think that comes with passion as well, because I love what I do.
Exactly, you gotta love what you do.
It's like getting up. Like I have such a drive when I know I've got to do a bride. And I get that. I still get that excitement after 17 years. I still have that excitement of I'm going to go see my bride. I'm going to get her ready, and my bride sees that as well, because she'll look at me and she goes, "Oh my God, you're so like awake."
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
And 2 Red Bulls.
Red Bull, 2 coffees. That's it.
But you have to be kind of
100%. You have to be, especially in your role. What you have to do is support the bride through the whole day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at this word support. I see your partner Sham, he supports you, like he's here today. Obviously, I've seen you lot at the event that we done. How important is he to your career?
Very.
And how, obviously you said that he helped you, supports everything you've done from the start. If you didn't have someone like him, would it be even possible to do what you're doing?
It'd be possible. It'd just take longer and harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're battling with someone that's not supporting you, as well as battling with the growth as well. I mean, Sham's been with me from day dot of this business, and everything that I, anything that any ideas or anything, I literally go through him. And it's not because I don't trust myself, but he can look at it as an outsider.
Yeah, and a male.
And a male, I can be quite biased. Because I keep saying, well, it's definitely going to work because it's my idea.
I got to ask Sham some questions after this podcast. How are we dealing with women like that though? That's crazy.
No, so early starts, obviously, you were out early this morning, then he looks after the kids, you work together like that?
Yeah. So my kids are obviously a lot older now.
Yeah.
They're 17 and 14.
Huh?
Yeah. So they don't really need looking after.
Bro, you know what, yeah? I know we keep going into tangents. I had a customer this week, innit, yeah? And obviously they say black don't crack, and he said that to me.
It's true.
He's like,
17?
He's like, oh, please get this card, and it's for my daughter. I'm like, bro, what do you mean? You're about my age. Your daughter's probably 9, 10. He's like, no, my daughter's 21. I'm like, bro, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, my other son's 18, and this is that. I'm thinking, bro. But yeah, I couldn't imagine it yet. It's going to come soon. I know
If I had a kid at 20, kid would have been 20.
Oh, and congratulations to Raul. He's had a son this week.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
He's got a new dog.
Have you?
Teddy. Yeah. Brown dog is mine.
Teddy?
Yeah, Teddy.
Nice.
Shout out Teddy.
All right, so you know when I said I had 2 questions, I got 1 question.
Definitely.
My second question was, obviously we had Curran from Noki recently, and he's upset obviously because of what's happening with the business and this and that. But he mentioned that the trends and the fashion is changing in what brides want to wear. They want to be in lehengas instead of stories and stuff like that. Does makeup have trends, and do they change, and how do you keep up with them?
That was one more.
Makeup does have trends, but the biggest thing they have is stereotypes. Whenever anyone mentions, as in not makeup artists, but clients looking for bridal, they panic because they think as soon as they say bridal, that means cakey makeup, 10 layers of foundation.
Like
so
DIY.
so they do get really panicky. So when even to this day, when I get phone calls, they said, oh, I'm getting married, I want bridal makeup, but I want it really natural. I don't like all this, like you don't look like yourself. And I've not done transformation makeup or cakey makeup or whatever, like the thick makeup for probably like 15 years, just because as time's gone by, brides want less and less, and it's all about
Do brides used to ask for that before?
Yeah, as in they didn't ask for it. It was the stereotypical look. It was like, if you're having bridal, then this is what you're going to look like. Yeah.
Because obviously, I'm not being nasty or anything like that. Yeah, and I'm not obviously the best looking person ever. But when you see like girls, and then you see her on a wedding day, it's like completely different people.
Yeah, no, there's a transformation, then there's caked up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's 2 different things. You get it like that. So like, I get what you're saying.
No, but like Manisha's saying, it's changing now, isn't it?
Yeah, no, like I still remember when girls used to do the night ticks and stuff here, like.
Night ticks.
Yeah, that's what I call them.
Wing liner.
And then obviously one girl used to do 3 dots and that. Used to look quite cool. I don't know if she still does it anymore.
That's probably individuality.
You know what I mean? Like, there you go. I don't know what it was, but it looked cool.
Yeah. No, it's makeup's the same. Makeup goes through, like, you will have, a year of like glass skin, like, which is really like shiny skin, but less is more. Then we'll go through another trend where it's like very bronze looking, with a nice bold red lip. And then we'll go through another year of like muted lips and so it's just it rotates.
Yeah.
So with trends, it's something that it was here and then it will come back in about 5-6 years. So it's literally that rotation. And if you've been in the industry as long as I have, you do see it come back.
What trend would you like to see come back in the makeup game?
See, I do like the bronze, kind of like the definition and sculpted looks. Where you can really, where the light hits the face in different areas can really impact the makeup.
Like the sort of shimmery look.
No, it's more like all our faces are naturally contoured.
Yeah.
So you're just emphasising that contoured look. So if the light hits you from this angle, it really emphasises your features. But then if it hits you from this angle or from above, it really highlights the peak, like the centre of your face. So it's that manipulation of makeup, but it still looks absolutely stunning.
Perfect.
And okay, counter questions. Is there any trend that you don't really like and you don't like?
You wish don't come back.
Yeah, cakey.
Cakey.
I don't like. I think in my entire career, I think I've been asked to do transformation makeup probably 3 times.
But guys are doing it now as well. Guys are doing transformations now.
But when I say transformation makeup, I mean where girls want to be like 5 tones lighter than their skin. And as soon as you do that, you're going to look different anyway. And then literally really changing all the features on their face. I've seen things, like I've been asked, I tend to kind of stay away from things like that.
That's crazy, because then you put your name on that, innit, really? So.
But actually, having said that, there was when I was working at Mac, we used to get it a lot. We used to get girls that used to come in and like pick a foundation, but I want to be this colour. And you'd look at them and I'd be like, oh, okay. And I said, are you sure? And then they'll be like, yeah, okay, fine. So then I used to like literally grab the foundation they've requested, and I'd actually go grab the real colour that they were, And I said, look, let me do what I want to do. And I said, I'm going to do half your face in one colour, I'm going to do the other half in another colour. And then they'll be like, okay, fair enough. And I'll do it. I won't tell them what colour I'm putting in either face. And then they'll look in the mirror and say, okay, which one do you prefer? And they'll be like, oh, I like this one. I said, that one actually makes me look really dark. I was like, yeah, that's the one you chose. And they'd look at me and think, okay. And then they'll go with what I've offered them. And the reason why they looked up, because again, with skin, there's a science behind it, that if you put a tone that's too light, you automatically turn grey. So you ultimately then look dark. And that's what people don't realise. Because sometimes...
He's baffled. He's like, what do you mean?
Crazy,
yeah, because you'll put a foundation on and your natural skin reacts with that. It's because it's all colour theory. And you're actually making yourself darker. But people won't know why they look darker. And then they'll put more of it on.
You know when it's hot and I put argan oil on, and I put it on a day-to-day.
Yeah, but argan oil, it's an oil.
Yeah, but
so
it's good for your skin.
It's good for your skin, but it's not good if you're going out in the sun. It's like putting butter on chicken and putting it in the oven. You're gonna burn it.
I used to tan really badly.
Yeah, but that's why. So anything that's oil based shouldn't be put on your face that's exposed to sun unless you're going to follow it up with SPF.
There's science behind it all around.
Because otherwise,
and
that's why girls go on holiday and they cover themselves in baby oil because they're going to tan a lot quicker.
So I've just been getting...
Yeah. Oh. And that's the worst skin damage.
Alright, so I've got another question for you now. Technology is obviously moving on and you get apps for everything nowadays. Is there like special apps or like software that you've discovered or like makeup artists use?
I don't personally use any. You're talking about retouching, as in
no, not like that. Like
as in when you take a picture of makeup and then you then yeah. So we call that we call it like editing. So editing the look.
Okay.
Or filters and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't personally use them, and it's purely because if you need to use something as a makeup artist, if you need to use filters or edit apps, that means you're not doing a good job.
Yeah, facts. 100%.
Yeah, because you should be proud of the work you've created and be comfortable to post those kind of pictures with no edits whatsoever. Because one, you can edit. But then say if somebody says, can you do the same look? And you can't recreate because you can't. Because it's actually false. It's also false advertising because you're then portraying that you can do this flawless makeup on clients. People book you, but then can you actually do it?
Let's say, for example, a girl comes to you with an AI image of herself.
Yeah. Oh, I've had that.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
This is what I was
Yeah. A girl comes over to you saying, I want to look like this.
Yeah. I actually had... She's a bride to be.
Okay.
And I've had it quite recently. It was actually a couple of weeks ago, booked and everything.
Yeah.
And she sent me a picture of, and I literally had to take because I've met her in real as well.
Yeah.
And then I said, when was this? I already knew it was edited. And she
nicest way to say it. When was this taken?
Yeah. So she did say it was taken a year ago, and she used the Kim Kardashian Snapchat filter.
Okay, yeah.
So her entire face was literally the shape of Kim Kardashian, and I thought, oh no! And you have to then be very careful how to explain to the bride of, okay, I understand what you want to have and what you want to do. Wow. So then it was quite a sensitive conversation because obviously you don't want to upset your bride. And she's also a bride that likes very minimal makeup. So trying to then create a look...
You haven't got much to work with, basically.
No. Like I said, I can do this, but it means that I am going to have to use a lot of contouring cream, contour powders, to really chisel and make you look snatched. And then, I mean, she did say herself, look, I know I need to lose weight to get that face. But I said, it's not even that. I said, the whole facial structure's completely changed. And I said, hand on heart, I said, I've seen girls that have this face shape and it is done by injectables. Yeah. So I said, unless you start introducing lip fillers and Botox and things like that to get this look, I said, you're not going to achieve that. And to be fair, when I explained it to her, like, she understood where I was coming from.
Now I think we should move on to the academy.
Yes.
Yep. so obviously the academy is where we're at right now. When did the academy idea first start? Did you always have an idea that I want to do this is what I want to do?
Yeah, it started right at the beginning, before I became a makeup artist. I already knew my vision was that long term I would like to start an academy. So it was always there. I just wasn't sure when it would come, but I knew that was my end goal. That was my dream, to one day open up an academy, and then I literally did that in 2018.
So your dream was master makeup and then be the makeup master.
That's it.
So 2018, obviously we've seen the other room here. Did it start from this building or were you based somewhere else?
No, it was, everything started in this building.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been in this building coming up to 10 years.
Yeah.
But everything, like we've just revamped everything quite, like we just changed over. So when I first started the academy, I only used to teach maximum 2 people at one time.
Yeah.
Just because I'm finding my feet, I wanted to deliver the best training possibly that I could. And then when I got to a position where I was like, you know what, I know what I teach is good, I'm going to now introduce like more multiple students. So now we actually deliver training to a group, but I still do one-to-ones as well.
What does a group consist of now?
So group one, in Leicester, because of the sizing of this premises, we can accommodate 5 students.
5 students
at one time. We're launching in London, so we're launching from March in London. So London will be able to accommodate 12, and then we're also launching in Birmingham, and again we'll be able to accommodate 12.
London, Birmingham, if you don't learn makeup, contact.
So who's going to run them?
Me.
So you're going to be...
It'll be me. So the whole course is written by myself. It's been accredited by GTI, which is Guild Training International. So that's the certificate you'll get, which is recognised internationally. We offer like a 9-day course. And the reason why it's 9 days is because I felt there was a need to introduce business, and that's not on the market. There is, as far as I'm aware, there's no academy that delivers the business aspects.
All right, so this is... Oh, go on then.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, how do you split yourself between 3 locations? Which is difficult, because obviously you've got Leicester, you've got London, you've got Birmingham.
So we would run each location per month.
Okay, so per month.
Yeah, per month. Okay. Yeah, we wouldn't run them at the
Alright,
same
cool.
time.
Okay, yeah.
So we'd run 9 days in Leicester, then we'd run 9 days in London,
and
then run...
change.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so it's a good thing you brought the business side up. So you could be the best makeup artist in the world, but if you ain't got no business acumen, you don't know what you can do with it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so it's good you're teaching it, but where did you learn the business side of it?
So I come from a very long line of businesses. So growing up, families, my family had businesses, my uncles, my aunts, they all come from, my granddad, we've all come from, I've always grown up around businesses. So you pick up what you learn as you go along. As an A-level, I did business studies. Then when I went to uni, I did business and IT. And then again, when I was an IT consultant, my main job was in organisations marrying IT and business, bringing the two together. So again, it was like going in at an angle of, okay, so business kind of came naturally. So when it then came into the academy, it was like I could see there was a grey area, because girls were going on training courses to learn hair and makeup, but then they didn't know what to do afterwards. They've learnt the skill, but now they don't know, okay, well, what do I do now with that? How do I build my business? How do I bring in the clients? And
what do I charge?
Exactly. And I guess, I don't know the other courses, but I felt that there was a need I needed to have an entire day literally just focused on that, where because again, as years have gone by, I've seen a massive difference, and a lot of things that I teach is from my own experience, because again, being in the industry for 17 years, I've been in, you know, there's mistakes I've made in the business, and I wouldn't want that for my students. If I've made the mistake, I'm going to tell them this doesn't work. Yeah. This is why it doesn't work. Whereas I've done things that have been successful and worked. So then
have you had students go against what you've said and tried something and it failed, or tried something and it worked, and then come back to you and then showed you, say, hey, this worked?
No, I haven't had that. I've had students that haven't listened to what I've told them to do.
To do their own thing.
Well, they've not taken on the business side.
Okay, yeah. Business side is used to have. You need to.
You need to know what to do. You need to know.
In anything you're doing.
Yeah, like how to market yourself.
Yeah,
how to, like you said, how to charge. But also it's the whole relationship with your clients as well. From when they do book you, especially with bridal. Bridal comes at a very high valued service. Yeah. So, you know, as soon as you say you need to book a bridal makeup artist, you can see already that it's literally 300% higher on price than it would for a party hair and makeup. But the reason for that, because there's a lot more that comes with it. So you've got, you know...
basically their counsellor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you're hands-on with that client, for that bride, from the minute they book you up until... their wedding day, and sometimes, you know, a few weeks after the wedding, depending on, you know, how much they need you. And you need to learn these people skills. You need to know, like, the touchy-feely side of the business for you to be successful.
No, you do need to know the business.
You know what it is as well, that, like, you've noticed that not everyone... Because some other makeup artists who have academies might think, oh, these that probably know the business side. But you've picked up that not everyone knows it because you've been through it and that as well. So I think it is very important.
Do you know the thing is, you've said on the podcast, and I know you probably agree with this, it's so difficult to say no, as probably you to a business owner.
Yeah,
it's so difficult to say. I find it so hard to say no to people. I can't do it.
Because you just don't want to be a letdown.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to disappoint them.
And I guess in your business, that's very important.
Very, very important. And the thing is, again, with this industry... Once you get to a level, so I'd say the first 3 years is all about build, and growth. That's what the first, you know, just getting your name out there.
Set the fundamentals and let people know you're there.
Absolutely. But then you'll get to like 3 years onwards and you start to see, because you've done it so correctly in those 3 years, that's the hardest part. The rest of it starts to flow. Because you've made your name, you've set your standards, you've made your name, and then it starts to become word of mouth.
Yeah.
And people start to recognise you, people start to recognise your name, people start to recognise your work. So when you look at, that 3 years, so what I'm doing with my students is making those 3 years easier for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to say, potentially I want you to get to that level within a year. And even with all of the students, I set them goals. So I'll say, before business day in the academy, I'll give them homework. And I'll say individually, I want you all to come back to me with what is your goal? What is your financial goal? What would you be comfortable earning on a monthly basis? Whether it's as a part-time or whether it's a side hustle to your full-time job or full-time. And as soon as I know each individual vision, I mean, we don't share it in the class. That's just between me and the student individually, because everyone has different goals.
Yeah, facts.
I'm then in a position to show them how to get to that goal and how to reach that goal, because I know it's doable.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
I've seen it.
You're living proof of it.
Yeah. So it's like I know how to get there. I'm there to help you, and I feel that's not covered in a lot of academies. Where I take each individual on as a goal for myself. Like, I want to see you in this position.
Like a project kind of thing.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, because if they excel, I've done the right thing.
Yeah,
like, I've helped that person. And I'm a huge believer that the more people I help, the more comes back to me. Because I believe in circulation.
Full circle, in it.
Yeah. It's like the more you give out, the more comes back.
It will come back.
And especially in your line of work, your name holds so much weight. And I don't know nothing about makeup artists or weddings and stuff like that, but I know there's a few big ones that we've seen at the wedding event. But there's certain ones like yourself, especially your lot's names without you probably even knowing, he'll hold so much weight, and then it's like you'll do a wedding, and then the bride's like cousin or someone like, oh, who did you make it? I want that one. When I have
basically
mine,
your
innit?
billboard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Yeah,
In
it
other
is.
words, like
You
you're creating
cannot-
your art on
And
a
it's not even
canvas.
just the bride, it's anyone's face that you touch or hair that you touch. You've always got to work with them as if they are now going out to advertise you.
Yeah.
It's a blank canvas, isn't
Yeah.
it? You paint your masterpiece on it.
It's sometimes you just got to be like, you know, just do whatever you need to do to make sure that customer's happy, looks absolutely amazing, because that's what's going to sell you. You can do an amazing job, and probably like people will ask, like, okay, who's done your hair and makeup? It's amazing, you know, give me their name and da-da-da. And probably that will circulate. You do a bad job, that's going to be, you're going to have...
That'll go viral. Yeah. If you do a good job, you might not go viral. If you do a bad job,
you know, that's what happens. So what, you know, you've got...
And you get your competitors sharing it up as well. You know what I mean?
No, and you do. Yeah. So again, this is why it's so important that, okay, you might need to spend an extra 10 minutes putting something
extra
right.
10 minutes could save you a lot of money.
You might find that clients being I don't like the word awkward, but thinking it's like they're
Different.
indecisive.
Yeah.
And then but end of the day, adding that extra 5 minutes to put it right compared to walking away and jeopardizing your brand, your name, it's not worth it. And this is the kind of stuff that I teach the students, that you are your brand. When you start this industry, you are the brand.
You represent your brand.
Yeah, that's it.
And you then have to start building your business, that you can't walk away from it. There is no room for mistakes. I mean, mistakes can happen,
Yeah, of course it can.
but you've got to be in a position to rectify it and put it right, or do what's within your control to make it right. And this is all the fundamentals that I teach in the academy.
All right, so coming off of that, same kind of subject, how important do you think social media has become to your industry?
Massively. Yeah, absolutely massive. With social media, it's a free platform. It's time consuming. That's the difference. Yeah.
He knows that now. Rahul never used to know that, but he knows that now.
Like, we're time poor. You know, as human beings, we're
There's only 24
poor.
hours in a day.
Yeah. And,
I wish I had more.
And it's like, you can pay people to do it for you, but you haven't got your touch on it. Do you know what I mean?
He knows what you mean. He knows
We're
exactly
going through the same shit. Do you know that? We're going through the same stuff.
Alright, so basically what we're going through, I've been, from the start, I made reels, for our thing, They might not even be the best right now, but I started, and at the start they were completely rubbish, I'll say it myself. I used to get the captions first of Instagram itself. They do captions, and then someone told me about another.
I bought the AI thing.
I downloaded it, and then we started using AI. But AI, even right now, you still have to do input into
There's
AI.
so many limitations to it. There's so many.
You might just do it yourself.
Yeah, you may as well.
Yeah, and then we tried to give it to like a few different people to try out, and
they used AI.
but it wasn't the same. It wasn't even the
It
same.
was
at
the same
all.
as AI, but it was what it was. I mean,
But like you said, you have to have your own. You have a vision,
You do.
and the thing is, you can't copy and paste yourself. If you could, it'd be so much.
It was so much easier. I mean, every course that I run, I literally look for improvements. I've been running the course since 2018. Obviously, we had COVID, so then we shut down for that. But every single course, no matter how confident I am with my course, I mean, don't get me wrong, I deliver. I deliver the hell out of all my courses, and they get what they need. But I'll always have something in the back of my head, like, how can I make this better? How can I make it better? And I will. And then I will look at stuff. Okay, what can I bring in to make it easier? So, for example, last year, I wrote a book, an additional book to the academy, and this.
Where do you get the time to do all this stuff?
You wrote that. Wait, hold on.
So I put this together. It took me 2 weeks to do.
That's crazy.
And the reason why I put this book together was because, as much as I'm teaching the skill, it's very overwhelming to be learning a new skill for a student, right? Yes. And as much, and I want them to go away and excel, right? So this book was literally put together, and literally, look at it.
And do you try to do this kind of stuff in off season, so you're not overwhelmed by, or there's no off season? What you do?
No.
In terms of the academy as well, like, do you like? Let's say you have a person come in with a level of skill that you feel probably right for you. Would you still work with them to get them to a point? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you take all types of students and things like that.
Yeah, and my question can link onto that. Yeah. Age-wise, do you get younger, like people who just left school, and then you get older?
You get
16-year-olds.
Yeah, they want to start their own business.
Yeah, and usually it's their parents that contact me. Okay. Like their mum also say, look, and my daughter's really interested in makeup, and is there something you can offer, and things like that. So I'll talk directly to the mum or the father first of all to kind of get an idea. Like, is this idea coming from the child, or not the child, but the student, or is it something they're pushing her towards? Because you've got to get that balance as well. In the early days, I used to get students that were coming for the wrong reasons as well, and I identified that straight away.
Okay, fair.
And when I say wrong reasons, it was they thought learning makeup is a quick money making
quick buck.
Yeah. Like, you learn to do makeup, paint a few faces, and get paid.
Oh no!
And I saw that. So there were a handful of students I had like that, and I had to really like pull them aside and say, look, I don't think
it's for you.
This is for you, yeah. Fair.
Well, you can't even say things like it can be, but it's the mindset. I needed to change their mindset.
Yeah.
I said you can go in and it's all about the money, but I said you're going to lose the passion and you're not going to deliver.
No.
Because you're too focused on how many bookings have I got? How much money am I going to make? You're not actually the end of the day. It's the client that's the most important.
Yeah.
And you can have a client. I mean, I have many clients that repeat with their repeated work. They've been coming to me for years and years because they know how I work, how I am, my mannerism towards them. And I mean, before we did today, the client I did her hair and makeup 5 years ago. No, sorry, not 10 years ago. I didn't remember.
But she remembered.
She remembered, and literally she said, "Oh yeah, it was my sister's wedding," and I was like, "Oh, who was your sister's wedding? Who's your sister's wedding?" And I said, "Do you mind me asking what's your sister's name?" And she said, and I went, "Yeah, I didn't do the bride, did I?" And she started laughing. "No, you didn't." I said, "And I did all you," and literally all came flooding back. And I remembered every single conversation I had with her, like all of them, what the location, and I even remember who did the bride. And she was like gobsmacked. She goes, "I can't believe you remembered all of that just by that little." And I said, like with me, I'm terrible with names, and I apologise to everybody. I'm terrible with names, but I'm great with faces. Like I'll always remember your face, and I'll always remember where I met you
and the story
and the story behind it. Like that's the memory I have.
And that's good customer service.
Yeah,
that's
that is.
But name wise, I'll be like
names aren't so bad as well.
But it's only because like in
You
the
meet so
Asian
many
community,
people,
there's so many people.
there's like
Let's just
1,000
small,
Koreans,
man.
1,000
Yeah.
Koreans, 1,000, and you're like, oh my god, which one?
My question follows on perfect from this. So, have you ever had a divorced lady come twice or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you turn up to it.
Yeah, why
oh,
not?
you getting married again?
I have.
Oh really?
I mean, obviously you know beforehand before you see them the second time that this has happened. They contact you.
You're thinking cha-ching.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
But yeah, I've had that. I've actually been in a very, very awkward position, and
we have this story.
yeah, Sham always laughs at me when this happens. Where it actually happened at Mac. I did a bride, and and she came into Mac probably like a few years later, and I was going, "Oh my god, how are you?
Yeah.
How's married life? And how's this?" And and she literally looked at me and went, "I'm divorced." And you know that face,
It just drops, isn't it?
and you're like, "Oh my god," and you don't know where to take the conversation after that. And I remember I was standing behind like the till plate, and all the other Mac girls were with me, and they all looked at me and was like, "Oh my god, what are you going to say?" And I'm literally like, "Oh, okay." And it's like, and
that's
then
awkward, wasn't
do
it?
you need any help with your makeup?
Oh my
Because you just don't know.
Yeah, you
And I was
don't know.
like, "Oh my god," and you're just dying inside, and you think, "Oh god." So now you kind of like I've learned. Okay, look at the hand, make sure the ring's still on. Make sure, you just have to be
pick up on
careful,
them little things,
or
innit?
let them bring it up. But you're like, "Oh god." But you
Crazy.
see so many people, but
Yeah, no,
it's-
you must do.
All right, so you know earlier when you said if you make a mistake, and then the other ones they repost it. In Leicester, and maybe because we're from Leicester, yeah. Do you think you know how everyone says, the makeup artists they're all against each other, all this fight, but don't you think there's enough work for everyone to go on?
Absolutely. Yeah. I totally
My question
agree with
follows on
that.
great from that as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with
You
that.
think there's
There's loads of there is enough work twice over for every single makeup artist. I personally, the only person I'm competitive with is myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
only
Love
compete with myself.
Yeah.
I don't
love
compete.
that?
I have so much respect for all the makeup artists out there. You know, some are quite good friends of mine. Some that I will be quite civil with. I'm civil with everybody, but I have the utmost respect for every single makeup artist out there. And like, brides are going to come to you whether for quite a few reasons. They'll come to you, they like your work, they like you as a person, and you just gel with them, right? Every single makeup artist has their own little unique style.
JUSP, yeah.
Yeah. So I can't, say my makeup's exactly the same as makeup artist A, and so why have you gone to her and not come to me?
This art is like a painting. It's going to be different
you
every
have to-
single
so-
time.
Yeah.
So for me in this industry, I only compete with myself. I always look at how can I improve myself next time? How can I push myself next time? And again, when we talk about social media earlier, how like important it is to
Yeah.
this industry, it is, but it's also a pain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like I you know what, I literally, I don't know if it's an age thing or what, but
It's an age thing.
yeah, it is an age thing.
I'm telling you, I'm starting to
Before you
feel.
made the statement.
I'm starting to feel the same. It's an age thing. I'm telling you right now, it's an age thing. I hate it. I'm getting worse at it day by day. I feel it leaving me.
Yeah, honestly, I actually have to rely on my daughter.
I don't have that.
You don't have that, but sometimes I have to pull her in and say, do you know what? Can I get your advice? And I've got to go to a 14-year-old girl to get advice when it comes to social media.
I had to do the
I
same.
would, literally like TikTok. I'm like, okay, what? Because we do a lot of transition reels.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've got some coming up as
Yeah.
well. And I would literally lean on my daughter and like, what's trending? Like, how do you do this? How do you... She even had to sit with me once to try and do a transition video.
Oh right.
Right? And she's like, Mum, you're doing this slow. Mum, you're doing this wrong. You do this right. And in the end, she took the phone off me. She just forget it.
But they know.
But
Just
then-
see photos
But
do.
then I watched her do it, and I'm like, oh my god, like how do you learn all
Look
this?
at my TikTok profile. It looks like Uncle Status profile. You know what I mean? Like one picture, one selfie, like one post. But
All right. This is my next question. Yeah, probably one of my last questions. You've built all this. You've worked so hard over the years, and like generational wise, we spoke a little bit about your daughter. Do you think this is something that she'll take over when she grows up?
That's
Like
a
you said,
great
she's
question.
about on holidays. She's with you when she's on holiday and stuff. And like, does she love it? Can you tell she's got a passion for it?
She, yes and no.
Okay.
So I look at her, she's going to hate me for saying this, but I look at her as Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Literally, when I look at her, how Ariana Grande is very like
Bubbly,
tomboy,
yeah.
very like, but very pretty.
So straight to the point.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah.
be around the bush.
No,
Yeah, I get
she's
it.
very much like that. So with her, she knows makeup. Like she's already told me, she's like, Mum, all my friends are already waiting to do their prom with you. And I was like, well, what about you? She said, no, I'm good, type of thing. But with her, she knows good makeup, bad makeup.
Okay.
She's at that age. She's year 9, so that's the year like the girls start wearing makeup.
Yeah.
And she literally comes home and is like, Mom, oh my god, some of the makeup looks that I see at school are ridiculous. And she's not got to that stage yet where she wants to wear makeup. She's more skincare at the moment.
Yeah.
You have to be skincare at that age, I think.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
at that age especially.
With regards to your question, like, would she take over?
Yeah.
This is my dream. It's not her dream.
Love
Right?
that. Fair. Don't force your kid into your dream.
Yeah, it's like
No, not in force wise,
No.
but for me, like
Take over.
that kids become a product of their environment. That this is your environment. This is what
Yeah.
they're around.
Absolutely.
You get me? This,
I guess right now probably she's at an age where she's not going to make that decision.
yeah. And she just,
Hannah and I, we had a conversation yesterday, and she's like, "Mom, I still don't know what I want to do in the future." And I said, I said, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I said, as a 14-year-old, how could you possibly know what you want to do for the rest of
Being
your
a
life?
14-year-old in that world and the world we came from is completely
Different,
different.
yeah.
Completely different thing.
Yeah.
It's a completely different
But
thing.
with her and even with our son, we will support them no matter what direction they take. But for me, this is my dream. This is my empire. Yeah, what I make from it will feed into theirs. So I would like to be in a position that when Sai or Aiden decide in the future what they want to do, that my husband can create the groundwork for them and set them up.
yeah.
But then it will be down to them to grow what their dream is. But no, I would never push her into this.
Okay.
If she feels that she would like to do it as a part-time job, then fair enough.
Yeah.
Or she wants to help me and support me, then absolutely. But I'm not building this
For her.
to give to her.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But it's here if she wants it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's here for her and for like whoever, for both my children. Even with my husband, with the car businesses, he's never once said, Aiden, you're taking over this business, because that's his dream.
Yeah, no.
We, like you said,
Everyone has their own
generation-wise,
dreams, yeah.
back in the day, it was like
Force something onto
Yeah.
somebody. Yeah, break that. Stop that.
It's like,
It's true.
but hand on heart, I would push my children to do better than me.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing that I
Yeah,
will
have
say,
to.
is because I've done the baseline. I'll get myself to the highest position possible. I would expect that position to be the baseline of my children. I would expect them to go even higher.
Yeah.
And that's because I will give them the groundwork to get them to where I've got to. And then it's down to them to then build. And then again, like even further on from grandkids, I'd expect them to be even higher than their parents. Because that's how I look at it. It's that, that kind of building blocks.
You don't know you have
That
to.
you're building it for the next generation higher and higher.
Okay, I said that was my last question. I got one more question. From the academy, have you ever had a student that said to you, I want to open my own academy, so I want your help? Or not yet?
I've had
That's a good question.
I've had one student who is interested in doing so. She did actually say that on the course. That a lot of my students come here
Ambitious.
ambitious.
And I was about to say.
They're literally very much saying, I want to be you in 5-10 years. And I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that, because I'm thinking, wow, if I can change someone's life like that, absolutely take what you want. Because one day I was like that. I was ambitious. I saw somebody and I want to be you in 10 years. So I want that for other people. And yes, I had one student who came to me and said, I want to basically have what you have. I said, go ahead and do it. And I said, when you're ready, you come back to me and I'll help you. And you just got to be there to guide them.